So the mind, the apparent mind, can never really get it, because what seems to be the apparent mind is also this expressing as what seems to be the apparent mind, or the apparent mind, I should say. So there's nothing separate from these two carrots. There's nothing separate from this to try to figure out what this might be. So that's why I always say it's okay. Trying to figure out it's okay. Uh, even when questions don't arise anymore, it's okay. Even when questions still arise, it's part of an expression of this. It is an expression of this. This expressing as somebody asking questions or not. So here an answer can be given as if there is a real somebody who has just asked a question. But it is always seen that there is the one who seems to be asking a question is already dead. Is never there as separate from this. It is this asking a question. So the answer is still the question, and the question is still an answer. In a sense that it's just this asking a question, also giving an answer, also not giving any answer, keeping quiet, smiling or not smiling, walking or not walking, thinking or not thinking, waiting or not waiting.
So this leaves us with many paradoxes as seekers. So, first of all, to seek or not to seek. Second of all, what is seeking? What difference does it make? Apparently, you are what you seek. So why seek? So why do anything? Yet we know that even though we may not exist, the process of seeking leads to some sort of awareness, even if nobody is aware.
Yeah.
So we try to distill this wisdom into an instruction manual, and immediately it makes no sense.
Yeah, this doesn't make sense. The apparent mind may seem to try to get some sense, to try to figure out what this might be. But that process, as it is, of the apparent mind trying to figure out what this might be, is already this. So, really, the apparent noticing may seem to happen as well, but it leads to nothing. It leads to that which is already everything, which even during the process of what seems to be the mind seeking for this, it was already this. So the seeking process led to nothing, because the one who was seeking was already not there as separate from this. It was already that which is being sought for, appearing as what seems to be the seeker seeking for. So no, it's a play.
So,
It's a play.
I mean, in my opinion, at some level, you come from no tradition. You know,
Yeah,
certainly you have a Christian background and you had some pointers. But I mean, it's in terms of being a teacher, you don't have a tradition. You didn't come from a tradition. And we see, a lot of teachers teaching get bastardized throughout the generations. Um, but try to also, even ones who are alive now, try to focus on traditions and doing, and it always feels like they're avoiding the ultimate punch. Because the ultimate punch is, yeah, there's nobody to do anything anyway, so you might as well not do anything. Or at least that's how it could be taken. But since you come from many traditions and you don't appear to have any pupils but me.
yeah, yeah. You know, this in a way may choose to express itself in a some traditional way. You know, this may appear to choose to like to be, I don't know what's the word,
Right.
radical. Yeah, just that's at some point it may choose to like carve up some things, saying no, you're not ready for to hear this
Right.
thing.
I mean, I know that there are traditions, particularly Buddhist traditions, that, you know, would reflect what you're saying 100%, but they would wait, you know, until apparent pupils are ready to hear it, right?
Yeah.
Carve up, carving up the nothingness. There's nothing to carve up.
Exactly. Stories are good. No, stories are good because they are part of an expression of this. So every story is beautiful. Mm. When you talk about individuals doing something, teaching, covering up things, it's just a story. It's just a story. Somehow, the story here is not neglected. This doesn't say, no, we shouldn't talk about the story. That's just a story. That's need to neglect the story. It doesn't arise anymore here because the
Yeah.
story itself is part of everything. The story is also an expression of this. So it's beautiful. The apparent separate self. It's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful expression. So it's okay, whatever is happening on us, it's okay.
Lately, my meditations, I meditate with my eyes open, I just see things, look at things. And when I start, my mind's blah, 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 imagining things, thinking about my day or whatever. And then as there's a, a, a moment of clarity and I see that and that stops, I've learned to have compassion on that moment, on that mind chatter. because it's not me that's the mind chatter. The mind chatter is just there, like the room is there, you know? It's part of this anyway.
Yeah.
And I know that you can't get rid of that any more than you can get rid of the room, you know? And I know that you have the mind chatter, right?
Yeah.
That ultimately, it's just a matter of perspective. That there's a perspective that has to be compassionate, tolerant, not fight the stories, not spin stories. Just an attitude of earnestness and I guess watching that can bring forth something. I don't know what
Yeah.
already is, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah. I get it. I
But
get
what?
it.
But the question remains: why do that? Maybe that is not being done. That's apparently not being done anyway. That's part of the story. So,
Yeah. It's just what's happening. Yeah.
but somewhere here experiences that that is better than not that, right? But in some
Mm.
parts of the story, it's not. Some parts of the story, being a soldier, maybe and killing people, maybe a better story. And that happens as well, you know. And that's this too. So what does that mean? What good is it? What good is any of it? You know, begs these
Yeah.
questions.
Mm. You, sometimes when there's no reaction to thoughts that are arising from this, then there's no reaction to any thought. Those thoughts may seem to like may seem to like subside. I don't know if that's
Mhm.
the right word.
Yep.
Yeah, they may seem to never arise anymore. But if there is, whenever such thoughts arise, there is always that reaction. They may seem to like be compulsive. They may seem to be that compulsive thinking. They arise every now and then, every now. But if there is no reaction to any thought, they will arise just like when you entertain an infant or a baby,
Right.
a newborn. So you may find that the newborn has some reaction because you entertain it, the baby. But if you don't entertain it, you seem to lose interest. So there are such thoughts that arise at the moment you don't give reaction, you don't act, and they seem to go down until they don't arise anymore. So that's what's happened here. There is no reaction to any,
Yeah.
but before there will be a reaction, strong reaction. Oh, I don't like this. I wish this could stop.
Yeah.
But now it's just
Yeah. Lao Tzu has something, I can't remember exactly how he puts it, but something about waiting for the water to settle, right? It's like muddy water, and the thoughts are like the mud, and eventually they settle to the bottom and the water is clear. You know, that's what the meditation is like, just waiting for the thoughts to settle like mud in the water. You know?
it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
But they can snarl you, you know, and sometimes they're juicy and they're fun. You know? I mean, I love puzzles, you know. I love chess, you know. I love my work. And in essence, that's That's this too. And it's just as valid a form of this, you know. This expresses as flow and thoughts and movement. It's movement. It's
Yeah.
movement, you know. And just because you may notice the stillness and stillness more than in movement doesn't mean that stillness isn't in movement or that the stillness is any better than movement. And if we don't move, we atrophy, right? So think the thoughts. You know, you can think the thoughts. There's nothing wrong with thinking the thoughts.
Yeah. Even thinking that there's a thinker of thoughts, it's not wrong or right. It's just what's happening.
Right.
It is an expression of this. Until such thoughts, they don't arise anymore. That's okay too.
So what are we talking about? What good is any of it?
There's already no one here who's talking about anything, if I should say.
Well, that just accentuates the point.